From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
Go over all the exciting details right now. Yes, I guess I lost audio for a second there. Yeah, I lost some audio there. Second, the stimulus heats up with another round of exciting news as SSI reform will get in there from those Democrats. Those Democrats debuted the letter just a few days ago. Let me circle back to cover what you missed in that audio. The Senate Democrats and House Democrats have put in there really incredible stuff. They took the president to task in their letter saying that you promised a series of items in the fifth stimulus and you have not put them out under second and third. So we're going to do it under third and fourth. So we're going to put it in the fifth stimulus package. Let me go over broadly what those details are right now. Very exciting news. First, they would increase your benefits. So you would see a brand new benefit amount just to start off right out the gate. That brand new benefit amount would raise your benefits up to a higher level than where they are currently. And with that new benefits amount, you would then see that new amount going forward. You would be tied to a new benchmark, and that new benchmark would be inflation. So as inflation goes up, so would your benefits. Inflation is expected to go 2 to 3% over the next few years. So that's what's happening with your benefits. And then they would remove the asset cap. The asset cap in place would prevent some people from holding more than $3,000 on hand. And finally, the incredible great news about the income cap. It dates back to the 1960s. It would be gone. So if you want to work, you can work $2,000 a month, some amount they're going to choose, and you can keep that money and still be on benefits. And finally, the marriage exclusion, the marriage penalty. If you know what it is, it's going to be going away as well. Incredible great news. This fifth stimulus is the type of relief you need. Now, here's something you need to know, which you're probably going to ask, and if you haven't asked, I'm going to answer it right now. With all this talk coming about this strange nuance of capital gains, could it derail fifth stimulus? Here's what you need to know, is that the fifth stimulus package is the American Family Plan. And that ultimately, it's a little bit different going into fifth stimulus than we've gone into fourth stimulus. We always understood what fourth stimulus was. It had a core bread and butter that we understood what it was. Fifth stimulus still remains very vague. The president's going to debut to the American people this week what is in fifth stimulus. And yet he's still been vague about it as well. More money for children? They're getting $3,600 this year. Why do they need money every single year? He's not giving you money every single year. Why do they need money every single year? And what is the other money for the families? What particularly is the money for the families? What type of families? Just if you have children? What if you don't have children? Not particularly clear. So the whole core of fifth stimulus still remains very vague. That's why I haven't covered it, because he hasn't made clear to us what fifth stimulus is. But here's what you need to know, is that fifth stimulus would start in September, not become law until 2 months later. And its impact was felt already this month. On Thursday, Wall Street crashed because it didn't like what it was hearing about fifth stimulus. And it was coming from this guy. And today he addressed press as well. He was asked, what is going to be the capital gains rate you're going to look for? He wouldn't answer it. He was asked, are you going to raise capital gains? He said, yes. He said, for who? He said 99% of Americans wouldn't be impacted by it. Well, what is the rate then? And who's going to get it? I'm not going to tell you. Wait a second. You can't say it's not something, but then also not tell us what it is. It's like a double negative. Either you tell us what it is or don't tell us what it is. So his assurances to the American people during his press conference today that 99% of Americans would not be impacted by it, but then also wouldn't tell us what it is, was very confusing, to say the least. But broadcast media didn't buy it. A major #1 financial news network ran an article today because they cover stocks and bonds and crypto and things like that. And they ran an article talking about its impact as proposed on stock owners and how many of them would be impacted by it. 99% would not. Nope, not what they said. They said over 25% of them, as they know so far, would be impacted by it. That's just for stock owners. How about for homeowners? How about for people who buy and sell a home? How about for people who buy and sell businesses or buy and sell cars? How about people who buy and sell anything? Have an Amazon shop. Maybe you do an Amazon sales. Maybe you buy and sell stuff on eBay or Amazon or flea markets. Are you going to be impacted? Not particularly clear. And then came this. Here's a statement to the American people during that press conference that the vast majority of Americans make their money from salaries was confusing and absolutely baffling that a person in his position would think that that's the situation. In fact, we saw during the pandemic last year how many people claimed PUA versus how many people claimed UI. There's a lot of people out there that are independent contractors, sole practitioners, gig workers. They're not W-2 people. So why would the assertion be that Americans make their money off of salaries when vast majority of Americans make their money off of salaries when we learn that's not the case? Really unclear. And needless to say, this is what you need to know going into the evenings. Ultimately, Wall Street doesn't like when it doesn't know something. It likes to gauge risk. It's the same thing for you in Middle America. If you don't know what the situation is, but you're hearing rumor of it, you're not happy. It's a little bit like a vaccine that you're not sure about. You're not sure. Maybe you don't want to go near it. In the case of a stimulus package where you hear something for taxes is hitting, but you're not particularly clear about it, you may act a certain way. Remember, When you're talking about taxes and capital gains taxes, the concept, or at least the concern, is that the tax burden next year may be bigger, so you may want to get out of the position this year before that tax burden hits. It is a risk no one saw coming before Thursday, and that's why Wall Street traded down. That's why crypto was down over the weekend. And ultimately, this could continue. If we continue to see from the administration vague references to superlatives, but lack of details about items. In 2020, you saw on this channel how I was often deeply critical when any politician would give us sweeping, grandiose statements, but not give us numbers. There were times like that where I referred to the Temple of Doom where I said, where are the numbers? Who's getting it? How much? How's it going to work? And all we would see these grand, sweeping verandas of superlatives. And we wouldn't know what the detail is. I hope that's not the path we're going now. I have a lot of beautiful landscapes I could show you. I can show you sweeping panoramas and tell you everything is so beautiful, the America. But I also need to know where the numbers are. We also need, as a family, to know where the numbers are and how the numbers will impact you, me, and the person down the street and the rest of the people tuning in. We need to know who's at issue and what's at issue. Moreover, there's a lot of other things that need to be asked. What is the money being spent on? I've seen a lot of comments from viewers over the last 4 months, with money continually being spent on children, but not on adults. $24,000 on 17 to newborns is a lot of money over 6 years. And as Americans try to get their feet on the ground, how soon could we start to see those things? And here's another thing to consider as you go into Evenings at LALATE. Why have we not heard about other things? We've heard about some items, but not heard about other items. The Miguel Cardona letter not being produced, the student loan debt forgiveness not being redressed. The executive authority of the president to be able to forgive student loan debt by executive order not being addressed. The issue of why the president would not do an executive order for student loan not being addressed. And so certainly it seems sometimes that congressional leaders have a legislative agenda and that when they approach the president, he's not particularly responsive to hearing their congressional agenda. It's a strange dichotomy. Ultimately, it helps you. Why? Because if the president's positions are so polarizing, everything has to go by recon. And that if it goes by recon, no matter how much he may not want to do something, those Senate Democrats, those House Democrats will put it into the recon because that's the only way he can get what he wants, and that's the only way they can get what they want. Remember, forced stimulus, not coming from the president, not coming from his administration. It's coming from those congressional leaders. They're going to put it in. SSI reform, again, not coming from the president. Those congressional leaders, they're putting it in. And ultimately, if it becomes sort of a push and pull of him wanting to do something and them wanting to do something, that ultimately, as a family, perhaps that's the way we're going to have to see things happen. As we go into a late afternoon, there's incredible great news across the board, and I'm going to stay on top of it for you. We're waiting Tesla's corporate earnings to come in. Tomorrow, we see big corporate earnings coming in from Alphabet and Facebook and more. It's going to be a big week with big news across the board and big financial news, and ultimately that financial news will determine how quickly this economy is rebounding to the finish line. Thank you for joining me. Coming up next, again, is Evenings at LALATE. That exciting detail heats up in 2 hours from now. That exciting broadcast is followed by the Laugh a Minute of Jovita Late and Sirloin. I can't wait for you to join me. And I'm sure Sirloin will have an opinion about today's events and Mr. DC. And with that, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is the channel where you want to get the information accurately to the moment and fun and informative and easy to digest. Also, like this video. Let's try to do 3,000 likes. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, keep on staying positive. Sorry about that audio for about 10 seconds early in the video. But with that, stay informed, stay focused. Say hello. I might be in the live chat. And stay with LA for more.